All right, so if you're roughly my age, you might recognize this device. It's a Commodore 64. This is one of the new ones they started releasing last year called the 64 Ultimate, which is pretty much identical to the old 64, except that it includes some onboard Wi-Fi and other hardware conveniences like HDMI. The Wi-Fi, however, is not the Wi-Fi you think it is. It's not just connect to the internet and go. It's essentially a modem running on your local Wi-Fi. Um, Feral Fiction took its inspiration from the roots of interactive fiction in the 80s, and this machine ran many of the copies that were circling around back then. So I decided to take a good run at creating a Feral Fiction client, a modern Feral Fiction client that uses AI support to drive the narrative for the new Commodore 64. But in order to do that, I had to create a security layer that would allow this essentially to act as an appliance on the internet in a full-fledged way. So here is how we created the link between the Commodore 64 Ultimate and cloud services at feralfiction.com today. I'm going to boot up. And I will load the client. And here comes Feral 8-bit. All right, so on first use, the Commodore has to set an identity for itself. It's going to be a secret key that it only keeps and never transmits. So when it says authenticated trusted computer, it's going to say, hey, pairing code. Now, in order to do that, it actually generated a private key through SHA-256 encryption, which, yes, is running locally and in assembly on the 6502 on this 1 megahertz computer. That private key remains on this machine for good, and from it, the client then derives a public verifier that becomes the Commodore's network identity. It sends that public verifier to feralfiction.com, and feralfiction.com, in this case, the stories came back with a challenge code. This challenge code is a one-time use, it's short-lived, and it's exclusively created just for pairing this device to my account. So to do that, you'll see here that the code, the activation code, has been printed on the screen. It's 8 letters and numbers, just like you would normally pair Netflix or any other streaming service with an appliance like your TV today. So to pair, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to zoom out really quick and pan up a bit, and we're going to go to stories.feralfiction.com/pair. It's going to ask for a login. I'm going to give it one. And it's asking me to trust a computer. So in this computer trust model, I will zoom in a little bit so you can see it, just a little better. I'm going to go ahead and type that 8-digit pairing code. So that is K3YFM6U3. Again, this is not a private code. It's just a one-time use, and it's thrown away after this is done. Once I say continue, it says trust computer. It recognizes it as Commodore 64. It provides a device ID, and then I trust this computer. And then it says computer trusted. With that trusted, the Commodore is now polling the server, looking for the ability to connect. Checking approval, computer trusted, and now it starts the authentication process. The authentication occurs, and once that happens, the server says it has sent a fresh challenge. The Commodore constructed a message that contains that challenge and its own device identity and an expiration time. It sends that through an HMAC SHA-256 proof that goes back to the server and gets married to the account. Once the account and the device are married, this machine, this particular appliance, is now authorized to use my account at feralfiction.com. Proof is verified. Platform issues a short rotating application token, which is part of our just normal session security, and the session is established. With the session established, we can run any program that we've created for this client on the Commodore 64. So we're going to go ahead and bring up Feral Fiction. And from here, I'm going to bring up the Wizard of Oz. loading. It will bring up a splash screen for the cover. There's my cover. And then it drops me into the story. I'm in Dorothy's house. So there we are. This Commodore 64 is now a full-on first-class internet citizen. And it can use any application that we develop for it on the Feral Fishing Cloud, which we expect to be developing a number of apps, including the Feral Fishing Interactive Fishing Service. All right, thank you for that. And we're looking forward to seeing you out there.